Listen, if you're wondering why your refund status hasn't updated in 2 weeks, it's not because you're being audited. It's more than likely due to the bottleneck of holidays and President's Day bottleneck of 2026. Also, the PATH Act refund delays. So let's talk about it. PATH Act refund delays, EITC, ACTC payment timing in 2026. So yes, there will be some times down below so you can have an idea of when you're likely to expect your refund and why the delay. So where's my refund? If you claim the earned income tax credit, which is the EITC, or the additional child tax credit, the PATH Act will delay it. Here's what you need to know. So I want to give you some key takeaways and then dive into the article and then give some insight. And this is what you got to understand. When it comes to the credits, they are powerful when it comes to helping you get a larger refund due to you qualifying. These are only for individuals who qualify based on your earned income. So if you are below a certain threshold, then you get a credit. And depending on your children, in terms of how, in comparison to how much you made and your filing status, may also qualify you for a larger refund. But I don't want you to settle on just the tax credits as many people do, because if you go hindsight and look at what you did in the previous year in the form of the money you made and the money that you spent, it's a good chance that you can increase your refund on your own, legally, ethically, and morally. What do I mean? Well, it's a lot of people who did a lot of business outside of just a normal job last year, from the gig workers to the content creators to those who have e-commerce, you name it. A lot of people were trying to make other forms of money and doing it in multiple ways. Those other streams of income not only have income opportunity attached to it, but they also open up over 100 tax deductions. So tax deductions allow you to lower your tax liability, and some of you who would not typically qualify for the EITC earned income tax credit can position yourself to qualify. So now you lowered your tax liability because you got tax deductions due to expenses and money that you spent in association with trying to make a profit in that side stream of income, and now you also qualify for the earned income tax credit. This is powerful when partnered together. So even though I'm going over these credits, I want you to understand that you don't want to just limit yourself just to the credit when you can also qualify for tax deductions. All right, so here are the key takeaways. So the Protecting Americans from Tax Hike, aka PATH Act, requires the IRS to hold refunds for taxpayers who claim the earned income tax credit or additional child tax credit until February the 14th to prevent tax fraud. Because a lot of times people will go in and hurry up and file someone else's kids, or just see as much, put as much as they can in deductions, even though they don't qualify for it. And now they end up numerically looking like they qualify for the earned income tax credit, but they realized that it was a lot of fraud being created on the front end because people were trying to get the fattest refund as fast as possible. That said, the IRS will update its website and app on February the 17th, 2026, with refund updates for early filers who claim the Earned Income Tax Credit or the ACTC. PATH funding will be done in two batches, February 18th and February 20th of 2026, and most of the time the IRS will fund tax refunds within 21 days, but not a guarantee on a certain date. And sometimes it's within 11 days. So it varies based on your situation. Just keep that in mind. The IRS will also lift the PATH Act holding requirement on February 16th and fund most refunds of taxpayers claiming either EITC or ACTC by March 6th of 2026. Now, I want to highlight this because this is what a lot of people do, and this is not financial advice, but right here says that you don't have to wait for the IRS to get your money filed with XYZ. Jackson Hewitt, this is their article, so I give them a shout out for that. And it says you can apply for a tax refund advance loan. A lot of people do this because they want their money right away and they qualify for like up to $7,500. This is typically not recommended because you end up digging into your pockets before you actually even get your funds. And sometimes you end up getting a little less or not exactly what you would get. And now you end up owing just off of a loan that you got because you didn't wait the allotted time frame. Now, I know everybody's situation is different. I know everybody has their reasons, but be careful not to do this just for the sake of buying things or consuming things that's not going to contribute to you long term. Loans are typically better when it has an asset attached to it, meaning you're about to buy something that's going to produce a revenue stream, some cash flow, and now you pay it off with that cash flow. But most people get the advance just so they can buy stuff. And when you just buy stuff, then it depreciates, and now you wonder why you did it. And then you find yourself doing it every year. This may not apply to you. Hopefully it doesn't, but I just wanted to point that out due to the fact that many people fall into this category. So if you claim the earned income tax credit or additional child tax credit, the IRS puts a hold on your refund. So let's dive in. So this is the updates as of right now. The hold puts your refund pretty much on the PATH Act, and it will be updated for most filers on February the 21st. Now, here's the refund schedule that you probably wanted to see for yourself and understand what's going on, why the delay, and what can you expect. So the expected timing for the PATH Act funding. Date, February 16th, which is a Monday. No refunds sent on the President's Day holiday. So this is the bottleneck that I was referring to in the beginning, with President's Day being on a Monday and them releasing it around that time. Then no refunds are being sent out due to it being a holiday. So keep that in mind. That Tuesday, the IRS will begin processing returns, but not funding refunds. The U.S. Treasury typically does not fund on the first possible day. So Tuesday is going to be considered the first possible day based on how it falls, and they typically don't do that. That said, from February 18th to the 20th, Wednesday through Friday, the IRS starts funding. Get your refund faster just by getting access to knowing that everything is going to be direct deposit. And when you get things direct deposit, it's typically faster than checks. And they did away with doing checks. Then from the 21st to the 22nd, no refunds are sent on weekends. The IRS Where's My Refund app is updated with the information on PATH funding refunds. But by March 6th, which is the date that many people are waiting for, because I see people are saying, hey, we're not going to get our funds until the beginning of March, which could very well be true if there's someone who qualifies for any of the credits that we previously discussed. It says most PATH refund funds are expected to be deposited. Mail refunds can take 4 to 6 weeks or longer based on the mail system. Now, they said they're doing away with mail checks altogether. So I'm not sure if Jackson Hewitt is doing something different, but they're doing away with mail checks, mainly doing direct deposit. I'm sure if a person does get something in the mail, you understand why it can be a little later than typical. Now, I know different people like to receive their refunds in different ways. Here are the estimated processing times between the U.S. Treasury funding and when you get your money. How quickly to get your refund depends on how you choose to receive it. So they do have cards that you can tap into depending on where you file. They vary from the card type. And typically the cards are fast, usually within 24 hours, up to 5 days faster than other methods. And some people prefer this. They want to have it on the card so they can use it immediately. Direct deposit to other cards or bank account, typically 1 to 5 business days, but depends on the bank. Paper check, that depends on your situation. I know that we're doing away with paper checks as far as I know. So that being said, this may or may not apply to you. And just for clarity, it appears that the refund may be, or the check may be due to it being an advanced loan. For those of you who choose an advanced loan, it says that you will receive a check from First Century. Depending on who you bank with or depending on who you file with will determine who your check comes from. So that may be what they're referring to when it comes to the check. But I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Did you still receive a check even though the IRS said they were doing away with the check? Or did you end up getting direct deposit or sent directly to a card? Because this information right here about the check is the only part I'm questioning. But the main thing I want you to get from this video is knowing the dates, knowing why the PATH Act is in place, and knowing how the credits can help you. But more importantly, if you don't remember anything else, understand how you can control your tax liability legally, ethically, and morally to the best of your ability by you understanding that having a business, having some type of income that you generate outside of a job positions you to make additional income, yes. But more importantly, it positions you to legally pay less in taxes. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.